folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims Info and Thoughts video. So we got a possible feature list for what could end up being Discover University. Yesterday, Tina Marie tweeted me this saying, I was going through old Sims 4 surveys on the Sims VIP website and found an on-campus description. I wonder how close it will be to Discover University? So the Sims VIP article has a survey from 2017, and I also find it interesting. This is going to come up again in the video later, but one of these ideas is for something called the Sims 4 Witches. And that basically ended up coming true, although they call witches spellcasters. But yeah, still the same basic idea came true. But moving over to Reddit, where these images originally came from, we have this image of the Sims 4 on campus, where it says school is in session and it's time for your Sims to hit the books in the Sims 4 on campus. Take your teenage Sims to boarding school to advance their skills, find more about themselves, and even impress their crush. Move on to university to learn new career skills, join cliques, and even experience the craziness of dorm living. Attend boarding school. Teenage Sims who are dedicated to their books can attend advanced classes where they'll learn new subjects and weigh the pros and cons of being a teacher's pet. Find your place. Sims can discover who they really are and who they want to be. Pass notes to a crush in school, start a clique, and stand up to no good bullies. Join a society, secret or academic, and see what adventures that opens. College life. Enjoy a game of throwy disc or kicky bag on the campus quad. Lead a campus protest. Sneak into the back of the library to smooch with your significant other. Live in dorms. Live with your peers outside the watchful eye of your parents. Meet new friends, discover romance, and host a party without getting caught. Prank your friends, face off with rival societies, and live life away from your parents. So do I think this will end up being Discover University? Well, somewhat, because going back to the idea of that Sims 4 Witches pack, that wasn't quite accurate to what Realm of Magic was, because they advertised Magic Broom in the survey as a major feature where you can use it to actually fly around, cast spells while riding the broom, and even fend off other Sims with the broom, but that didn't happen. The brooms are just like a glorified but kinda cool looking teleportation. And the survey also made it seem like as if the potions were going to cause more devastating negative effects, while there's only a few in Realm of Magic that actually do that. And of course, we gotta keep in mind, these surveys are from a couple of years ago, so it is outdated as well. But I think it still could give a hint as to what we may be getting. Though, the split focus worries me a little bit. It reminds me of Get to Work, and I know that's a lot of people's least favorite expansion pack for The Sims 4 so far. So, I'm hoping that the split focus thing is not true. I hope that it is still very focused on university, because if it was split between boarding school for teenagers and university for other age groups, then I think both would fall pretty flat and have some very glaring weaknesses. I'm sure there would still be glaring weaknesses if they did just a pure university pack for The Sims 4, but I think if they tried to split focus again like they did with Get to Work, then it'll be even worse. And I've seen plenty of suggestions that it should actually be split 3 different ways, with a playable university, a playable high school, and a playable elementary school. And while that idea sounds very cool in concept, I think the actual execution of it would be a dumpster fire, especially considering how many of Sims 4's packs have turned out, where they can be really cool in certain areas and maybe do a few things that the previous games haven't done before. Then they also leave out things that were in the previous games that a lot of people liked and they're just not there anymore. I mean, take a look at Island Living. The ocean almost literally has no depth. We can't even go under the water. We can only swim, and then there's some deeper water to do a rabbit hole interaction with scuba diving, but then, yeah, it's just not quite the same as The Sims 3. Even though scuba diving got boring for me after a little while with The Sims 3, I think it's even worse that they made it a rabbit hole in The Sims 4. So while the idea of playable high schools and elementary schools could be fun and a fresh new addition to the Sims franchise, I would expect them to have their own separate pack where they would be given more depth, because I think if they were included in the same pack as University, then maybe there'd be way less majors to choose from in University, or maybe the benefits wouldn't be that great, or maybe it wouldn't really have enough unique things to it compared to elementary and high school. Also, I just remembered that preschool is a thing, so being able to run your own daycare and being able to visit elementary school and high school, that could easily all be its own expansion pack, especially if you throw more after-school activities into the mix. We have a couple in The Sims 4 so far. They added scouting with Seasons and the drama club with Get Famous, but it would be cool to see even more. And since boarding schools, at least specifically for teenagers, appeared on the survey, that does give me a little bit of faith that at least some sort of playable school will happen besides University, even if it doesn't end up happening in the same pack as University. And while I think the Discover University title might be wrong, I think it still at least has the University part right, so I don't think it would make much sense to call the pack Discover University and then also throw in teen boarding school as half the focus of the pack. Then it would make a lot more sense to call the pack something else, like on campus or education. No gets, please. Just no more gets. I'm so done with those. But looking at the features that would apply to the university portion of this on-campus pack, it's a lot of what I think would be expected, like having throw a disc or kicky bag and being able to join a secret society and being able to pull pranks and discover romances and having a campus protest. Though I'm confused about how a click mechanic would work, because we kinda already have those with the clubs in Get Together. If they even reintroduced a feature like the group system from The Sims 3, where you had the jock group, the rebel group, and the nerd group, it's just too similar in my opinion. One idea that I do like is face off with rival societies, so at least you do have these different academic groups at the university rival each other, so it still differs a bit from cliques in that way, where it's a lot less general and more specific. And it's not something we've had in the previous university iterations. In The Sims 2, we did have the secret society, but it was just one. It didn't really rival anybody. And adding on to the idea of societies in general, I hope each one would provide some really interesting benefits. Maybe some objects that would normally be difficult to get in-game, or some exclusive interactions. I know the secret society in The Sims 2 offered the secret handshake, so would be cool to see something like that in The Sims 4 as well. So overall, I think there is a good chance that some of these things will come true, because they're just things we would expect in a university pack. That's just part of the normal university experience. But teenage boarding school, no, I highly doubt that is going to be in the same pack, especially considering Discover University is the more recent leaked name, and I think it is onto something even if it doesn't end up being 100% accurate, though to be honest, I like the on-campus name a lot more. I think it is just something that makes a lot more sense. Discover University? I don't know about that. But for it to be called University, or to have it in the title, and then also having boarding school, might be just a little too weird. It is nice that playable schools do seem to be under some sort of official consideration, though I personally don't care too much for boarding schools specifically. I'd rather the public schools be playable, but maybe it can still help scratch that itch of wanting playable schools outside of university. And that wraps up another Sims info and thoughts video. So feel free to let me know your thoughts on this in the comments section below, and be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!